The Early Worm Gets the Bird is a 1941 Brothers cartoon. This is directed by Tex Avery and written by Jack Miller, with a voice cast including Margaret Hill-Talbot, Mel Blanc, and Bernice Hansen. And this one was kind of slow to begin with, but then it picked up a pace, and I found the ending to be really enjoyable. So there will be spoilers from now as I talk about what happens. I won't go into a tremendous amount of detail, but I will definitely be spoiling the ending. And it starts off with this blackbird reading a book about how the early bird catches the worm, and his mother tells him he shouldn't be reading that and to go to sleep. And he does go to sleep, but he decides to get up early in the morning to try and get the worm. And unfortunately, he didn't listen to his mother's warning about the fox, because apparently if he went out early, the fox would still be around and his life would be in danger. But the bird doesn't care. He wants to get the worm. So out he goes. He sees the worm, and then he sees the fox. And his life is indeed in danger. I love the animation of the fox. All of the characters look okay, but the fox looks particularly wonderful. I really liked the design of the character. I thought it worked very, very well. And I won't say too much more about the specifics that happened, but as I said, I will explain the ending in a moment. But I think the pacing was really good once it got going. It does take a little while to get going. It is a little slow. I'd say the first maybe 2 minutes or so were not that interesting. But once the fox comes along, things definitely got more interesting, and I started to rather enjoy it. The animation is pretty good as well. And then we have the delightful ending. So basically, the bird and the worm end up working together. The fox ends up running away. The bird goes back home just before the alarm clock goes off. And the alarm goes off. The mother bird comes in and asks what the birds would like for breakfast. And our protagonist's siblings both said worms. And the bird, our protagonist, said they didn't want worms for breakfast. And then up pops the worm in the bed beside him. And I like the fact that they're now friends because they worked together rather than being predator and prey. That being said, in real life, I don't have any issues with birds eating worms. That's their food. It's what they've got to do. But it was nice within the context of the cartoon to see that these characters who are, I guess, enemies, actually were able to put their differences aside, and I thought it was a pretty sweet message. I don't know what the bird's going to eat now for sustenance, but nevertheless, that's the way the story went, and I rather enjoyed it. So yes, a little slow to begin with, but once it got going, the narrative was not too bad. I liked the characters, particularly the character of the fox. I'd say The Early Worm Gets the Bird is probably one that's worth watching. I wouldn't watch it again, I don't think, but as a one-time watch, it wasn't too bad.